Hi, my name is Arthropod Management. Knowing how well an insecticide will work against the insect pests you're trying to control can take a lot of time, and reliable information can be hard to come by. For this reason, I want to provide a quick tutorial on how to navigate research articles found in Arthropod Management Tests, a research journal that provides scientific data on the efficacy of insecticides on insect pests. This journal was made open access within the last couple of years, allowing growers and homeowners to access the articles. To access the journal, go to academic.oup.com/AMT or search Arthropod Management Tests in your favorite search engine, and it should be the first hit. Many people have asked me whether they can use soaps to kill aphids. A commercial product that is considered an insecticidal soap is called Impede. So let's search for green peach aphid Impede. The search results show you several articles that involve the use of Impede to manage green peach aphids. Let's check out this top one by Dr. Palumbo. On the following page, we can see the title, the author, the PDF, and some keywords. Clicking on the author name will provide more details, such as where they're based out of and their email, in case you have any follow-up questions for them. When an author submits to Arthropod Management Tests, they need to provide a list of pest species, pesticide trade names, active ingredients, and crops being tested, which are then listed right here. Let's check out the article now by clicking on the PDF. Articles published by Arthropod Management Tests are short and to the point, making them easier to digest than some other scientific literature. You will notice a couple paragraphs outlining the details and findings of the study and one table with the results. Some things to note in the first couple paragraphs include what species was being tested, what crop served as the host plant, where was the study conducted, how were the pesticides applied, and how many replications were done. The pest species and host plant are always described just above the first paragraph and near the top of the page, respectively. The study was conducted in desert growing conditions, with cabbage seeded into double row beds. This tells us something about the humidity levels in the area as well. The pesticides were all applied twice as foliar applications on March 5th and 20th, using the specified cone jet nozzle at 25 gallons per acre and 40 psi. And the treatments were replicated 4 times, meaning that there are 4 separate groups of aphids that received each treatment. Replications are important in scientific studies, as they provide us with the confidence that the observed effects are actually due to the treatments being applied. The more replications, the more confident we can be that our pesticide application was the cause of any aphid mortality. The replications were arranged in an RCB design. RCB is an acronym for Randomized Complete Block, which means that our treatments are arranged in blocks where each treatment occurs at least once within each block. This contrasts with a CRD, or complete randomized design, in which treatments are just completely randomly arranged. Another quick thing to consider is that this experiment was conducted outside in the open, meaning that more insects could fly onto the plants during the experiment. Some experiments are conducted within cages in order to exclude further infestation. Now let's take a look at the data. Each row in this data table represents the results from a different treatment. On the far left are all the trade names of the insecticides, followed by the rate that was applied. The several subsequent columns gives us information about the average number of green peach aphids counted on different days. You will notice at the top here this acronym DAT, which means days after treatment. Numbers under 3 DAT represent the average number of aphids counted on each of the different treatments 3 days after the first pesticide application. 7 DAT is 7 days. You will also notice later on we have 3 DAT2. The 2 represents the second application, so these numbers represent the aphid counts 3 days after the second application of pesticides. Now, let's look at some of the results a bit closer. Let's first start with the untreated check. This gives us an idea of how many aphids we would expect on a plant if we did not spray any pesticides at all. We should compare our pesticide treatments to these numbers. You'll notice that by 3 DAT, our aphid population's already over 112 aphids per plant. By 28 days after the second treatment, Dr. Palumbo was counting over 1,550 aphids per plant. Now let's look at impede. By 3 days after treatment, impede had about half the number of aphids as the untreated check, but 47.6 aphids per plant on average is still quite a bit. By 28 days after treatment 2, aphid numbers are over 1,000 per plant, which is not really different from the untreated check. So although impede may have provided some limited suppression of the aphids, it did not really provide sufficient control. Let's look at another, Movento 2SC. By 3 days after treatment, Movento is already down significantly compared to the untreated check with only 11.5 aphids per plant. In the next several weeks that precede, the aphid numbers are at 10 and below on average per plant. Even at 20 days after the second application, we can see a big difference between Movento and the untreated check, suggesting that Movento provided good residual control. That concludes our quick look at arthropod management tests, how to find relevant articles, and how to understand the data.